Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining on time. Good morning, Rishabh. This is the eighth session today. So there are four topics on the agenda. The first topic is we'll try to learn to say sentences like Was für eine, Welche, Welcher, Welches, Welchen. The second topic is continuing our discussion on relative pronomen. We'll not do this because for this we need some context. We'll do this next time. The third topic is to write sentences like blah blah, damit, blah blah, and then blah blah, blah blah, zu. So these, so the both the sentences serve the same kind of purpose. Is where you say something. Let's say you say something. Let's say you say. Let's say you provide something and then you say if this happens then this will happen, okay, or I am doing this to do this. For example, I'm waking up at 7 a.m. in the morning to learn German. Ich stehe um 7 Uhr morgens auf, Deutsch zu lernen. Okay. Similarly, you can say it, ich stehe um 7 Uhr morgens auf, damit ich Deutsch lerne. So you want to say sentence A and then you want to provide the reason why you want to say sentence A. Of course, there are other ways to say it. You can use while as well, because. But you have to improve like how do you say, you have to learn to speak sophisticated German. Also, you want to say the same things in a variety of different ways, right? In English also, and we want to say the same thing in different ways. Similarly, you also have to learn that in German. If we have still some time left, we'll try to learn some new vocabulary. Otherwise, we'll do this in the next session. Okay. Before we start, just so that some of you have some reading practice, Jagdish, so you see these sentences, right? There's bullet points, was für eine in the sentence, right? So there are one, two, three, four, six sentences. Can you please read all these six sentences?
Ja, was für eine Datenbank verwendest du in deinem
Project. So one in is a
Projekt?
mistake. There should be only one in. Okay,
Ja,
your project. Next
Projekt.
sentence.
Welche Daten Visualisierung Tools äh, nutzt ihr?
Read one more time. So whenever there is a big sentence, you should break it up. So
Ja,
word, you should break it up here.
ja. Welche Daten Visualisierungs
So
Leirungs
so you are speaking. You are using your, how do you say? If I'm not like, so you are reading German with an English accent. You're
Mhm.
saying visuous, not it's just visual.
Ja,
Yeah,
Visur
Daten, Visualisierung,
Datenvisualisierung Tool
Visualisierungstools.
Vis Visualisierung Tools
Yeah.
nutzt ihr?
Okay. Yeah. Next one.
Was für eine Dateninfrastruktur habt ihr aufgebaut?
Dateninfrastruktur. So Struktur.
Struktur? Habt
Struktur. So
Strukt
whenever a word ends with this R alphabet, right, or air, you replace R with A or A.
hm,
So Struktur. You can say Struktur, it's fine. There is no problem. But if you want to speak Hochdeutsch, you have to say
mhm.
Datenstruktur.
Dateninfrastruktur.
You can say the sound of R, but ideally you should not have the R sound. It should be
Äh,
R sound. But if for example, if
Struktur.
yes, that's correct.
Ja, Struktur. Okay. Habt ihr aufgebaut?
For example, here you said ear. That
Hm.
whenever the word is ending with the sound of R, you don't emphasize the
Ja,
sound of R. You just say ear.
ja.
Yeah, that's
Ja.
it. Continue.
Okay. Welcher Cloud Provider bietet die beste unter, äh,
Stutzung,
Unterstützung?
right?
Stutz,
No, and you said bited. It's beated, not bited.
bietet, okay.
Beated. Yeah. Next one.
Welches Framework nutzen Sie?
Okay, so in English, sometimes we, for example, these are sentences from, like, you may encounter
Frame.
them from data field, right? Sometimes we use English words as it is. So English words, you just speak the English way. You don't have,
Okay.
framework. That's it. Yeah,
Welches Framework nutzen Sie?
yeah.
Welches ETL Jobs Scheduler setzt ihr ein? Daten Regel ma Masik zu vera verarbeiten.
So this is it's a umlaut, right? It's regelmäßig, not a.
Regelmäßig.
Yeah,
Okay.
so regelmäßig. Yeah. So thank you very much for
Regelmäßig.
reading, right? So
Yeah.
when you are reading, right, you realize that you
Yeah.
have to think, right? So this is
Mhm.
where practice comes into picture. This is why I
Yes.
say before you have to speak, you have to practice alone few times, right? So that when you have to speak, for example, with please don't mind if you read like this, I will say, let's switch to English. you know
Correct.
right? You have to practice, like Datenvisualisierungstool, Datenbank, cloud provider, framework, scheduler, things like this. So these are relevant to, maybe relevant to your field, relevant to my field. Other guys, you have to learn nouns from your field. Okay, so thank you very much, Jagdish. We will start with the first topic. So most of you know where, was, wo, we, right? So who, what, where, how, and you also know when and wem. So when is accusative form of where, and wem is a dative form of where, right? You know this, and you also know how to use them. I suppose if you don't, please ask. Uh, then you know Welche as well, right? Welche means which, right? But you notice, right? So where becomes when in accusative, when becomes and also it becomes wem in dative, right? For example, who are you? Where bist du? Uh, who are you searching? Wen suchst du? Who are you helping? Or whom are you helping? Whom? Wem helps du? So these things. So it changes. It becomes who becomes whom, right? Similarly, in German, where becomes wen and wen becomes when, depending on which case it is. Okay. Uh, you also know Welcher, right? So, but for example, the sentence that which Jagdish read, there, it wasn't a Welcher all the time, right? So here it was Welcher, here it was Welches, here it was Welchen. Okay, so it changed, right? Also, want to say this, I am purposefully emphasizing the R sound because I want you to know that it's Welcher. But when I'm reading, there will be no difference between Welcher and Welcher. I will say both pronouns, both of them as Welcher, because I mean, at least my teacher taught me that whenever a noun, a word in German ends with R, you don't pronounce it. You just leave it, or you say a. So Welche. You don't know. Maybe you have. For example, you now know that okay, there is Welche, Welcher, Welchen, Welches, Welchem as well, right? So a few more varieties exist. If you don't know now, you know. But when like so. When is it? So when Welcher becomes Welcher, when Welcher becomes Welchen, and so on, right? There are five varieties. Uh, let's talk about this. Okay, so we can, yeah, Jagdish, you can read, no problem. So you can read the sentences. So before you start reading, just a note, other guys, when someone is reading, you also have to try to read this in your head because you can also get some reading practice. Also, you have to. I mean, I can give you the answers, but I want you to understand different scenarios when they will become. Jagdish, please read the sentences in the first block, and when you
Yes.
read the first, the first W word is of importance, right? So emphasize it. For example, I'm saying Welcher, say it like this. In real life, you don't have to say, but here you have to emphasize.
Okay. Welcher Kollege kommt später? Welchen Raum möchten Sie für das Meeting reservieren? Welchem Kollege hast du geholfen?
Thank you very much. So you notice, right? So Welcher became Welchen and became Welchem. Sivamani, do you want to read the next block here? This one? I'll count from 5 to 1. If you don't read, I'll have to give someone else chance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Santosh, do you want to read? Okay, Jagdish, you continue reading, no problem.
Ja. Welches Projekt
Projekt.
hat Projekt? Welches Projekt hat Jorang?
Vorrang.
Sorry, Frank.
For,
Welches
not Frong,
Vorrang?
Vorrang. Vorrang.
Vorrang.
Yeah.
Vorrang. Welches Handy hast du bekommen? Welches Zimmer möchten Sie für das Meeting reservieren? Welchem Problem seid ihr äh, be begegnet?
Begegnet.
Be begegnet? Okay.
Yeah. Next, you can read this block as well. So while you're reading, please notice, right? So things are
Yes,
changing, So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
please read one more this block.
yes. Welche Kollegin kommt später?
Kollegin. Okay, there is a mistake. It's not M,
Ja,
it's N. Kollegin.
ja.
Yeah.
Kollegin kommt später. Welche Besprechung dauert lange?
Dawat.
Welche
Daw what? Dawat länger.
dauert, dauert länger? Welche Software installierst du?
So you said installierst du. It's fine, but the better way to installiers. So the R is
Installierst,
installiers. That's it. Yeah.
installierst
No,
du?
no, no. Not inta. Say it again. Read the sentence again, please.
Welche Software installierst,
Correct.
installierst du?
Correct.
Okay. Welcher Kolleg Kollegen hast du geholfen?
Okay, please stop. You notice, right? So here, welcher
Yes.
Kollege kommt später. Here
Später,
it was
ja.
R. Here,
Ja.
for Kollegin, it became the R is gone,
Yes.
right? Here, welchem Kollege hast du geholfen? Like it was M. Now, if I only changed Kollege to Kollegin, like Kollege means like a
Mhm.
colleague who is a male, and Kollegin is a colleague who is female, right? So
Mm.
for male it was M. For female it is R. Notice, right?
Yes.
So continue, please. This next block as well.
Ja. Welche Kolleginnen kommen später? Welche Projekte haben Vorrang?
Please don't say project. Yeah.
Projekt, Projekt haben
Yeah,
Vorrang.
not yeah,
Ja.
not ja. Projekt.
Projekt.
Yeah.
Welche Besprechungen dauern lange?
So you said
Welcher,
so you said Besprech Kungen, right? Or how did you say? So
ja,
I mean,
Besprechung,
because I know you. We both live in the same city. It's Besprechungen.
Besprechungen, okay,
Yeah. You can say
gut.
Kungen as well. It's fine. But I think in us,
Besprechungen,
yeah, correct.
Besprechungen dauern lange.
Länger,
Welche
not lange.
L-
Länger.
Länge?
So whenever it
Äh,
is A umlaut, it's
mhm,
A. Or
mm,
how will you say air without the R part? Yeah.
ja,
Okay,
länger.
it's never A. Yeah, continue.
Besprechungen dauern länger. Welche Räume möchten Sie für das Meeting reservieren? Welche Handys haben Sie bekommen? Welche Zimmer möchten Sie für die Besprechung reservieren? Welche Software installierst du? Welche Termine, Besprechungen, Meetings haben wir heute? Welche Kolleginnen hast du geholfen? Welchen Problem seid ihr äh,
So
little
welcher,
small?
so now yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, so you had
Ah, okay.
welchem Problem, it was singular. Here it is
Mhm.
Problemen.
Problemen
Welchen Problemen seid ihr begegnet?
begegnet.
Begegnet is means come to face or to encounter something, like which
Mhm.
problems are you facing or which problems did you face, right? Let's
Mm.
say you're working in a team and someone who is in the team, he's not able to finish the task, and of course, like I mean, normally good bosses will tell, they will not say, why did you not do the job? They will say, okay, what problems did you face? Right? There is always a benefit of doubt. So this, well, someone is not able to do the task. I think I will ask the question, which problems did you face? Like, what, can we help you to finish the task? Something like that. Begegnet means to face, to come to face to encounter, right? Something.
Begegnet is dative, right? Dative verb.
Yeah, it's dative. Yeah, it's dative.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why we have yeah, it's dative. Now, thank you very much, Jagdish, for reading. So if you notice, right, I have divided, like, some sentence, for example, Welcher Kollega kommt später. If I replace Kollega with Kollegin, Welcher becomes Welcher. That is a different thing that I will read this one as this one as the same thing, because I will not pronounce the R part, but on paper you have to write. Otherwise they will cut your marks. If you wrote here, Welchem Kollega hast du geholfen, like M Kollega, M, and here, if I replace Kollega with Kollegin, M becomes it's instead of Welchem, it is Welcher. If you see over here, like Welchem problems idea beginner, so problem is singular. If I want to say instead of problem, I want to say plural, probleme. So Welchem becomes Welchen, right? If I say here welchen Raum möchten Sie für das Meeting, like singular, like which room do you want to reserve for the meeting, like then it is n welchen. But if I want to say plural, which rooms do welche Räume möchten Sie für das Meeting reservieren, now it is not welch, here it was n for singular, here for plural it is only, there is no ending. So you understand something is changing, right? Believe me, you don't have to learn anything new, but I want to see you to notice that how these things change in real life. If you instead of saying welchem kollege has to go, if you say welcher kollege has to go, often people will not like say your grammar is wrong. They will know what you are saying. It's just that if you keep doing this mistake, it may become a habit and your grammar may never be perfect in German language, which is not good if you want to climb the hierarchy in any company, right? So also in exam, teachers will cut your marks, but in real life, people know what you want to say. Okay, so if you notice, right, so these four blocks, uh, just also you notice, right? So when you use this Welche in whichever form, immediately after Welche you have a noun, right? Kollege, Raum, Kollege, Kollegin. You have a Raum, you have a noun everywhere, right? Immediately. So when you say which, you are asking which noun, right? Which colleague, which room, which meeting, which software, which project, which phone, which room, which problem, uh, which something, like which meetings, something you have a noun after which, right? So if you notice that noun, all the nouns in the first block are masculine nouns. Masculine, there are four nouns in a German language. You have masculine, you have feminine, you have neutrum, you have plural. Some people say it's the gender. It's not like the gender, because Mädchen, like a girl in German language, we say das Mädchen. It's not like they consider that the woman is like, a girl is not a woman. It's not like that. It's just that I cannot tell you why that is, but it has nothing to do with the gender. But if you want to think like that, it's fine. If you want to think that, okay, colleague is like a something like a man, it's fine. Okay, so if you notice the nouns over here, uh, they are all masculine, right? But here you have air, here you have n, here you have n again, right? So air, n, or and then m, right? The nouns in this block, they are all feminine. Kollegin, Besprechung, software, Kollegin, they are all feminine. In this, all the nouns are neutrum: project, project, Handy, Zimmer, Problem. The nouns in this block, they are all plural. Okay, does, like, once it is plural, it's a different game. You forget about masculine, feminine, neutral. The moment it becomes plural, it's your life actually becomes easier. I'll tell you how. So if you notice, right, so first of all, so you have to understand the ending of the w word Welche will depend definitely on which gender, or I will use the word gender even though it's not gender of the noun which is following immediately after the w word Welche, right? But even, for example, in masculine, right, so it's not the same. So here it is Welcher, here it is Welchen, here it is Welchem, right? Even for feminine it is changing, right? Like, definitely there should be something more. So first of all, you have to ask which noun is it, and then you have to ask one more thing. If I go back, here, welcher Kollege kommt später, this is kind of nominative. Why do I say it is nominative? uh who is
Because
coming
it's
late?
asking, yeah,
Yeah,
who
right.
kind of
Who is
question.
coming, right? Yeah. The next one, yeah, Rishabh, tell me why this is accusative. The next one, the next sentence.
Because it's asking which room, like Welchen, dash. So here the question is key, like welchen Raum möchten Sie für das Meeting reservieren? It means if we ask, so the here question will be which, so, or whom.
So what Rishabh is trying to say is that, if you're, instead of asking a question, so here you have to look at the verb. What is the verb, right? So welcher Kollege kommt später, the answer will be, for example, this colleague Rishabh is going to come late, right? So welcher is nothing but it is asking what is the subject of the answer of the sentence, right? Who is coming late? The next sentence, welchen Raum möchten Sie für das Meeting reservieren? The answer will be, I want to reserve this room. So this room is like the object of the sentence, right? And it is what, and the verb of the sentence is to reserve something. right? So there is an action being done on the room, right? And that is what is being asked. So you have to think like that, again, what I'm trying to say is that, look at the third one. Welchem Kollege hast du geholfen? Here the main verb is helfen, right? If you look at it in this sentence, du is the subject, right? Du is the subject, and this sentence is in, instead of saying like which colleague have you, if I just say, welchem Kollege hilfst du, which colleague are you helping, or which colleague do you help, right? So the main verb is helfen, and we know helfen is a dative verb, right? And so do is the subject, do helps which colleague, right? You help, then whom are you helping, and that is dative. Okay, so that's how it is. Please ask. It is very difficult to explain, but if you understand accusative, what I'm saying is that here, for example, this sentence, right? Welches Projekt hat Vorrang. Here this Welches project is the subject of the sentence. Why do I mean that? When you say for, something has forrang, it's something like, what has priority, or which project has priority, right? So the subject of the sentence is this one, which project, right? And what has, you know priority. For example, my project has priority, project A has priority. So you are asking about question about that project A, and that project A is the subject of the sentence. Okay. Next one, Welches handy has to become, even though it does not, it remains Welches, but here it is not the subject, it is object. Which phone did you get, right? I got this phone, right? I got Samsung. It is object. Similarly, you can uh, ha- think of the logic for all the other sentences. So now, if you notice, like, so you here you have Welcher, Welchen, Welchem, like R, N, M. Feminine, you have A, R. Neutrum, you have S, S, M. uh, Here you have A, and N. It's so this is how it is, like, this is the table that we only looked for sentences, nominative, accusative, dative. Genitive we did not look because we don't encounter verbs which, like, there are verbs which require the object to be in genitive, but we don't need them in normal life. Okay, so for nominative, if you look at, like, nominative, masculine is Welcher, Neutrum. Rishabh, you can read them if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Uh, Nominative masculine, Welcher. Nominative neutrum, Welches. Nominative feminine, Welcher. Nominative plural, Welcher. Accusative masculine, Welchen. Accusative neutrum, Welches. Accusative feminine, Welcher. Accusative plural, Welcher. Dative masculine, Welchem. Dative neutrum, Welchem. Dative feminine, Welcher. Dative plural, Welchen.
Okay, you don't need to remember this table, because if you look at the adjective endings, right? Er, n, m, right? If you know the definite articles or bestimmt article in German language, right? Der, den, dem, right? Masculine, nominative is der, accusative is den, dative is m. In German, you have to look at the ending, right? Er, n, m. Er, n, m. Is it not the same? Er, n, m. It's the same, right? If you look at Neutrum, bestimmt or definite articles in German language, nominative das, accusative das, dative them, right? Ending is s, s, m, s, s, m. Look, s, s, m. It's the same. So you don't need to remember this table if you know this one, right? Feminine, the, there. Look at the ending. You have e, and you have r. Is it not the same? E, and r. It's the same. Plural, the, then. Ending, look, en. Check ending, en. So you don't have to remember this table. You can learn this. Now, I understand some of you may be thinking, it's a little bit, when I actually speak, I may have to, like, think like, what is the noun that is being used next to Welche, and whether it is like masculine, feminine, neutrum, or plural. If it is plural, then it's quite easy, right? I mean, you know, because you will, and, if you just think the ending is e, you will be right most of the times, like, just by the sheer chance, right? If it is neutrum, you will be right also. You can, if you just say s, Welches, you will be right two-thirds of, something like that. Now, of course, and then you also have to check the, like, first of all, you have to check which noun is it, what is the gender of the noun, like what is the alleged gender of the noun, and then what is the case, in which noun finds itself. Of course it's difficult. That's why I'm saying sit down today. If you have some time, you can look at these sentences. You can take a screenshot of this slide, I don't mind. uh, you can write some sentences, like think about your life, your day, whenever today, keep a notebook next to you. Whenever there's something like which blah blah comes out of your mouth when you are talking to someone, or someone else says this to you, in a conversation, in a meeting, write this down immediately. Okay, okay, today I learned something, then this is where I can apply it. Okay, so if you do nothing, if you have some time, think, be an active listener today, and see where people see use which, or you say something like which blah 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 blah, or someone else says which blah 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 blah. Okay, this is how you can learn German, like, learn, use something which you learned today at 7 a.m. in the morning. If there are any questions, please ask. Otherwise, this is all that is about this. So you did not learn anything new today. You can, I mean, you're, if you know this table, you know this table. Questions? Okay.
Sorry, I just joined late. I just want to reconfirm my side. So this Welcher, Welchen, Welchem, the questions that we're asking, that is so this Welcher means that we are supposed to get an answer for the subject. Similarly for Welchen, answer for the objective,
You are
and
looking for,
dative, right?
so yeah. Okay. Please talk more so that I know exactly what the logic that you understood. Yeah.
Same. So Welcher means I'm looking for the subject as an answer here, nominative.
Yes. Yeah. You can say that.
Welchen
Yeah.
means
It's yeah.
Welchen means the answer is focusing on the accusative. Welchen means I'm more focusing on the dative.
Yes.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So Welcher will be focusing on like the answer will be a subject. Welcher and Welchem answer will be objects. Uh, it is sometimes, it can also be something like that. For example, if you now I'll go one step further, just to confuse it a little bit. Or maybe you have, for example, you have this verb, right? Suchen. So the suchen means to find, right? But last week I told you that, you also have to learn to use prepositions with noun, right? You have to learn to use prepositions with noun. So etwas, nach etwas. So suchen means to look, ich suche. But if you want to say I look for, all right, I'm looking for this. So to say, to look for, if I want to say I'm searching, ich suche.
You meant the preposition with the verb, right?
Here the preposition is, yeah, preposition mit Verben. Yeah, so you should
With verb,
learn.
yeah.
Yeah, so if I say ich suche, I find. But if I want to say ich suche, I'm looking for my phone, then I will say ich suche. If ich suche nach meinem Handy. Okay. Now it may confuse you because many of you know that, like nach means after, but like I'm looking after my phone. But I mean, don't try to translate. That's how it is. Okay. Ich suche nach meinem Handy. Let's say if I am, we both are colleagues, and you sit in your room, I sit in my cabin, if we have that privilege. And then, I'm sitting in my room, I'm in a meeting, and you come and you start looking here and there, and I'm like, I know that, of course, you are looking for something, and I want to ask you, what are you looking for? So that I can help you. So then I will say, now if I want to say, what are you looking for? Then I cannot say, I mean, of course, I can say, I mean, I can of course say, was suchst du? That is fine, right? This is fine. Was suchst du? But if I want to say, uh, or okay, let's add more context to the conversation. I tell you was suchst du, and you say I'm uh, looking for a cable. Okay, I'm looking for a cable, right? And I'm of course like, okay, which cable are you looking for? So I can, of course, I can say welche, welches Kabel suchst du, because cable is like neutrum. I can also say nach. Let me just correct. Welches Kabel suchst du? If I want to use this preposition verb, nach welchem Kabel suchst du? You understand, right? So it's the same thing being said in two different ways. Okay. So here welches Kabel suchst du? Here it became welchem because I told you that when you use this preposition with this verb, whatever comes after nach will be dative. Now, how do I know this? I know it because I learned it at some point of time and I used it, and now I remember it. So you have to keep, like evolving your vocabulary. Learn 3 to 5 verbs every day. Within an year, you will have like more than 2,000 verbs, and it will be good. Yeah, please ask.
No, but this is because was to is because
What are you looking?
what are you so it's okay for if it's okay not when I'm handy and someone asks me what soups do, and it is was here because
It is like, what are you
it
searching or
is
something like that. Was suchst du? Yeah. I mean, of course, you can speak, like simple German. I'm saying like how you can like speak like more evolved German is what I'm saying.
it is because you're stressing it on the object, right?
Yeah,
Now I'm
I
handy.
static is the on the object. So here it was the object was in accusative form. And that's why here object was in accusative form. Here the object is in dative form, right?
Okay.
That's why this is what I'm
Welches
stressing.
Kabel suchst du?
Yeah, because
Na,
here the object is after
welchen?
nach, and after nach it has to be dative. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
it comes with practice. Uh,
That's
It
complicated.
comes with practice. Of course, you can speak simple German in the beginning. It's fine. That's what you should do. But, we all want to speak English like, I mean, I personally, this is my goal that if someday I want to speak English like this, we have Indian Minister Shashi Tharoor, his English is like, I'm a fan of, I want to speak English like him, you know. So, you know what I'm saying, right? You want to speak in a way that people want to listen to you. You want to speak a sophisticated language, whichever you are speaking, right? Of course, you can speak simple, uh, I'm saying, or if someone else says this, you should know, right? You are speaking simple German, but the person on the other side is speaking little bit sophisticated German more than you. Like, then you have to understand what they are saying. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, I'm a bit confused here maybe because I joined late because knock Welchen cable, the Welchen cable is because of knock,
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah.
Uh, but can you go to one previous example of this Welchen and Welchen features for one
Here, right
second?
here. So after here, so this one, let me go full screen. So this Welches Kabel suchst du, like this one. So Kabel is Neutrum. If I guess, if it, I hope it is das, Kabel. So it is accusative. So Welches, right? And here nach welchem Kabel, because after nach it is dative. So Neutrum, dative, it is Welchem. Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't have to remember this table if you know this table. The endings come from this table.
Can you just go back to one slide back? Okay, possible.
Yes, please. Please use microphone. There is, if possible.
Yeah, it's microphone only.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, please ask. I have. This is the slide. I think you want to.
Welchen colleague has to gelaufen. And
Yeah,
this is because the gelaufen is a dative verb,
yeah.
right?
Helfen is a dative verb. Yeah, it
That's what
is
you
like
have.
like quote unquote dative verb. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because when you, yeah, it's a dative. You can think it of as a dative verb. Yeah. So for example, begegnet is also a dative verb. Begegnen, to face, to encounter, to come face to face. Begegnen is also a dative verb. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. More questions? Anyone? Okay. Let me delete this. This is why I'm saying like practice. Okay. Practice. I don't need to do this to. Yeah. Let's do this one. Okay. Yes, Rishabh. Please tell me. Let's see if there is someone else who wants
Yep,
to. Hey, Rishabh, you can continue. No problem. Please. There are some sentences, right? You see in front of you, right? So see.
yep.
Let's see if you can say them in German.
I can try surely. I want to have more job opportunities. Therefore, I am learning German. Okay, conjunctions, right? So ich will mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten haben. Deswegen lerne ich Deutsch.
Right. So the first sentence is like, I want to. Let's ignore job. You want Okay, you can say you can continue, Rishabh. I'll talk later. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm learning German so that I get more job opportunities. Ich lerne Deutsch, so dass ich mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten habe.
Very good.
I'm learning German to get more job opportunities. Ich lerne Deutsch zu mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten haben or bekommen.
Okay. So the last sentence was, I mean, so it was not correct, but I mean,
May
I
I
know.
repeat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ich lerne Deutsch zu mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten bekommen.
What you are saying, I will know what you are saying, but in exam they will cut your marks. It's not grammatically correct. So you are missing two words. Yeah, but
Yeah,
nice try. I am very happy that you were able to say the first two sentences. You are supposed to say. I mean, if you don't say these two sentences, that means
yeah.
you need to just practice more. So let's look at the first sentence, right? I want to have, I want to have or I want to get blah blah. How do you say I want to have? So you have to use modal verb wollen, or ich möchte, whatever you want to say. Ich möchte have haben. So ich möchte blah blah haben. I want to have pizza. Ich möchte Pizza haben. Right? I want to have Cola. Ich möchte Cola haben. I want to have uh, something, whatever. So ich will uh, opportunities, like Möglichkeiten. You can also say Gelegenheit. I don't think it's as correct. Job is Arbeit. Arbeitsmöglichkeiten. You combine the two nouns. Uh, so ich möchte mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten haben. And then you provide a reason, right? So no, sorry, you provide a reason, and then you say, so you want to see, you're saying I'm learning German, and here you provide a reason, right? I want to have more job opportunities, and therefore I'm learning German. The next sentence, it's almost the same thing, but said in a different way, right? I am learning German. Now you first provide the cause. I am learning German so that I get more job opportunity. Then you provide the reason, right? First you say what is the intended result, and then you provide the reason. The next sentence is also saying the same thing, right? It's saying it in a much more concise way. I am learning German to get more job opportunities. If you're running an interview, okay, depending on what your strategy is, either you can prolong the answer or you can give the answer in a very short way. So we are saying the same three, same things in three different ways, right? This is what means, like, evolving your German. So you know how to say in the first two ways, how to say in the third way. This is what you're supposed to learn today. Also, you should notice, that's, in this, you had one sentence, here you had another sentence. One sentence means you had a subject, you also had a verb, you also had object. Next sentence, you had subject, you had verb, you had object. Here as well, even though it was only one sentence, but you kind of combined them with the help of a conjunction, right? So subject, am learning verb, German object, then you have conjunction, again subject, verb, object. So you had, like, full sentences. The last sentence, I am learning German to get more job opportunities. So here you have an entire sentence, like I am learning German. So I is the subject, am learning verb, German is the object. Next one, there is no subject anywhere, right? You're just saying to get more job opportunities. You have object, of course. You also have verb, to get. So you, in the next one, you have to get as the verb, job opportunities. You have an object, but there is no subject, right? So you are not using, like, the subject again in this sentence, even though it was same, right? Subject is the same. Okay, I hope I have not confused you, but you notice, right? In the third way, you are not using the subject again. Let's see. So Rishabh, can you read one more time all the sentences, the blue ones,
Yeah,
please?
sure. I want to have more job
No, no, blue
opportunities,
ones,
therefore I am
just the
learning
German,
German.
just the
Ich will
German.
mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten haben, deswegen lerne ich Deutsch. Ich lerne Deutsch, damit ich mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten bekomme oder habe. Ich lerne Deutsch, um mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten zu bekommen.
Okay, so you had said sodas, right? Sodas is not wrong, it's correct. It's just that you
Okay.
can also say damit. Okay, you can also
Oh,
say
yeah. You
damit.
told us, yeah.
Yeah, so you can say damit as well. uh, And also, if you notice, like when you say deswegen, the verb is at the first position, right? When you use
Yeah.
damit,
Yeah.
the verb, conjugated verb, goes to the last position. Now, this you
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
know by now, but if you don't know, if you say, deswegen ich lerne Deutsch, and you say damit ich habe mehr, it's fine. But in exam, they will cut your marks, of course. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
next one, right? Read the last one more time, please.
Ich lerne Deutsch, um mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten zu bekommen.
Now,
Okay, um zu.
yeah. So if you notice, right, some of you may be noticing, this guy is wasting my time. I already know how to say this one, I already know how to say it this way. Why do I have to learn it to say this way, right? You are mistaking, you are missing the point. This third sentence is actually going to save you, like, it is less stressful. Why I say it's less stressful. If you look at the first sentence, ich will mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten haben, you have to conjugate the, wollen with respect to subject ich. And here as well, the second sentence, the verb is lernen. You again have to conjugate it with respect to the subject ich. In this sentence as well, lernen, you have to conjugate with respect to ich. And again, here also you bekommen or haben, you have to conjugate with respect to ich. You have to learn the two conjugations. Look at the next sentence. Ich lerne Deutsch, um mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten zu bekommen. We did not conjugate bekommen this time, you know. So understand, the third way is a much more practical way, and it's also a little bit less stressful because you don't have to conjugate the bekommen. Yes, questions?
That's true.
Yeah.
But what is the significance of and so here?
So is like so that's how, and that is the syntax. That's what you know. So ich lerne Deutsch. So you can just say mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten zu bekommen. So ich lerne Deutsch more. I learning German. Now, of course, you cannot translate word. If you translate this to English, like I learn German, more jobs to get, it doesn't make sense, right? But so whenever you want to say a complex sentence, like two sentences together, and the subject is the same, right? I am learning German to get more job opportunities, you can say it this way. So what I'm saying is that to say something like this, I am learning German to blah blah, you say sentence A, and then you provide a reason, and that reason you provide, you want to provide very quickly. For example, ich trainiere, I train to get fit. Ich trainiere fit zu werden. Does this answer your question? Like, what is the significance?
Yeah, but
Okay,
yes.
let's try a little bit more.
But
So
here, bekommen also haben is also possible, right? Should haben.
you can also say, yeah, to have more, you can say it's fine. Yeah, zu haben. So I mean, you want to say something like this, you have to say it this way. That's, I think, what I can say right now. So if you want to say, subject verb object to, and then you provide a reason, if you want to say something like that, you have to say it this way. That's how I can put it very like, directly. So instead of like, I am learning German to uh, get a promotion. Ich lerne Deutsch, eine Beförderung zu bekommen. Right? I am learning German to get promoted. Ich lerne Deutsch, promoviert zu werden. Okay, now this is complex actually. But if you want to say something like this, like blah blah to get blah blah, or blah blah to blah blah, you have to say it this way.
So, like we can use the same format to say anything. Like I'm studying hard to get more job, to
Yes,
get more money. I'm studying. I'm doing this to. Okay.
yeah, yeah, you have to say it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And this is how you can, like, uh,
So
kind of,
to get always have this phrase
not not
so
not to
bekommen.
get, not to get. You can say also,
To
Rishabh,
have.
to have, or Rishabh said like earn money, right? I am learning German to earn more money. So ich
Yeah, that
lerne Deutsch.
understood. What I'm trying to say is to get or to have
Yeah.
these things have this phrase zu haben or zu bekommen, yeah, whatever it is.
Get is not there. So I learn German to verb object, whatever
Mm-hmm.
that verb will be. So here the verb is get. That's why we have bekommen. If the verb was to earn, then the here instead of bekommen we will have verdienen.
Verdienen.
Yeah.
Okay. But zu verdienen, zu haben,
Yeah.
zu bekommen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after you provide the object, right? So job opportunities you
Mm-hmm.
provide. So Rishabh said like more
Mm-hmm.
money, mehr Geld zu verdienen.
Okay.
Right?
But this is just a phrase. I mean, there is no, we cannot interpret a meaning out of that, but we need to use like this. That's what
It's, I mean, now it doesn't make sense, but as you know, at some point you realize that the more, like, you will,
Mm,
I mean, it becomes automatic to you, and someone will come say, you will say, what you said, just like this has like this phrase is does not, I mean, it's stupid, and you will say, yeah, it's stupid, but it makes sense if you practice. You know,
understood. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just how you learned, for example, like like there, they, and they. You in the beginning it did not made have sense, right? But now you understand like why it's important. It tells you, whether the verb is dative, accusative, or something like that. It's, I mean, you can think it up as a phrase. I will say it's okay. You can say phrase. I mean, at the point at the end, you should learn. So whenever you want to like say something, like two sentences where one is a cause and one is an effect, or one is a reason and one is the action, right? So, or reason or effect, action and intended result, then you can say it like this. Okay. So, ich lerne Deutsch, mehr Arbeitsmöglichkeiten zu bekommen. Or ich lerne Deutsch, whatever the object is, and zu whatever the verb is. And you don't have to conjugate it. So that's a good thing about it. You don't have to conjugate. This makes your life easier. Okay. Okay. Questions?
I think that the first two was more of a written, and third one is something that you easy to say, right? I mean, when you're more talking tips, right?
The first two is also, you can also use them. I'm just saying like this one, if like I'm just try. I mean, one thing is that you have to learn to speak this way as well. This is also a part of the German language. Like, one thing is that you have to learn to say it this way. But if I must, like, if I have to prepare for some exam, or I'm someone who does not want to make a lot of mistakes, I will go with the third one, because then I don't have to conjugate the verb. Here there is a mistake that you make. Not, I mean, here, if instead of ish, if I write do, or if I have some different complicated verb, if I have some irregular verb or mixed verb, the conjugation is a little bit tricky, right? But here you don't have to conjugate it. If you don't have to conjugate, there is no chance of doing a mistake if you know the verb. Makes sense? But the idea is that this is one more way of speaking, and you have to learn to speak.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know that how can I speak in some other way, because first two it's very familiar with me
Yeah,
in my case, but the last one is good to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And first one is also two sentences, right?
Yeah, first one is two
It's
sentences. Then the third one is just one sentence. Yes. Let's continue, because of course, now that you learn something, of course, there are some exceptions. So let's see. Let's look now. You had damit. So here damit, and here we used technically. Okay, let's continue. So let's say, I am learning German, okay, so that my family, so that I have a very stupid head example in my head, but I don't want to. I'm learning German so that my family can have a better life. I'm learning German so that uh, the Ausländerbehörde gives me an appointment. Now focus what I'm saying. I'm learning German so that the Ausländerbehörde gives. I'm learning German to get so that the Ausländerbehörde gives me an appointment. Now, whenever there are two subjects, right? So I'm learning German so that I get more job opportunities. Here you have a subject. Here also you have a subject. I am learning German so that the Ausländerbehörde gives me an job, gives me a PR appointment. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to say is that whenever there are two subjects, you have to use damit. You cannot. How will you say? In this one, like this zu, you cannot have the other sub. And how will you say I'm learning German so that the Ausländerbehörde gives me gives me appointment? Where will you write Ausländerbehörde in this phrase mehr? There is no place. What I'm trying to say is that there is only one subject in this way of talking. Makes sense? When you use subject verb object object zu verb, here the subject is the same, but if there are two different subjects, then you have to use damit. I hope I'm making sense.
understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you use, that is why damit, when you use damit, if you look, subject verb object, damit, subject object verb conjugated, the subject need not be same, but can be same. Okay, when you use damit, but with this one, the next one, the subject is same for both the sentences. Okay.
It's implicit, right? I mean,
Sorry.
The second one, the subject is same because implicit. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
it's the
talking
same
about.
subject. Yeah, it's implicit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how you have to learn. And this rule is only for present tense. We have to, like, there are few more things, when I say it's rule only for present tense, because if you want to say something in past tense, let's say, I learned German to, uh, I I learned German to get more job opportunities, or something like it. It's a little bit difficult. It changed a little bit in past tense, but it's only for present tense for now. Let's continue. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, if not, let's do the vocabulary part today. Yes. Santosh, if you don't mind, you can start. Well, let's start with Jagdish. Jagdish, can you read all the nouns? So this is, if you find some time, uh, learn new vocabulary relevant to your life. Otherwise, you'll keep learning vocabulary that is relevant to my life. Please read the nouns, and
Okay.
tell me if you know the meanings.
Now, vocabulary in the sense like an everyday life you're trying to say, or
Yeah. So for
I mean,
example, if I were you, what I would do is I would go to Euroshop and buy this, like the notebook, and every day I would divide the page into four pieces. The first
hmm
page in past, I will write any noun that I learned today, or any
hmm
noun that, you're in a meeting and you are like, I man, only if I knew this noun, how to say this. Then you write that in the first column. The second column, you
hmm
write any verb that is relevant to your life.
mm,
Like for example, to take interviews. How do you say to interview? Right? If you have
mm,
meetings every day, how do you say meeting? Meeting is a noun,
mm.
right?
Okay.
To promote someone, like, to, how do you say to promote? Right? To
Mm,
ask for a promotion, how do you say to ask? That is a verb. It
mm,
takes some time. So at least add one noun, one verb, one adjective, and one phrase every day in your notebook. Over time, you will have your own private dictionary.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Please start reading. But it's relevant, it's important that you only learn, you don't go to any vocabulary book and start note. You can do that as well, but it's much more important if you do this actively, play this game in your head. This noun is important, I need to write this down. Yeah.
Mm,
Continue, please.
yeah. Nomen, Anmeldung
No, so
or
you also have the article, right? So whenever you learn a
yeah.
noun, always learn with the correct article.
Mm. Die Anmeldung, die Reservierung.
Meaning as well, please.
You want
Yeah.
the meaning?
Yes, if you can.
Uh, yeah, Anmeldung is registration.
Or login as well. Yeah.
Yeah, or login, or die Reserve Währung, or means reservation or to reserve something.
No, to
Uh,
reserve will be a verb. This is a noun.
yeah,
But this is
reserve.
a good way of thinking. When you learn a noun, think there is a verb. So reservierung is the verb. Reservierung is a noun. The verb will be reservieren.
Mm,
Yeah. Anmeldung is the noun. Verb will be anmelden. Continue,
mm,
please.
okay. Die Haltestelle, which is like the stop
Stop.
or the station stop. Yeah,
Haltestelle. Yeah.
Haltestelle.
Yeah.
Die Stelle,
Yeah.
which is I would say it's also a stop, right? Which
It's also a
means
stop. It's also like a position, position in your
position.
company. Or
Yeah.
sometimes you say, if I were in your position, I would do this. An deiner Stelle
So,
würde ich das machen. It can have many meanings, but yeah, continue, please.
yeah, der Punkt, or which is a full stop.
Or
Uh,
point, like,
point.
what
Sorry,
is your
point.
point? What is your,
What
but
is your
punct is also full stop, but like, what is
yeah
your point? Yeah.
point? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one and okay. Die Leute, which is
Yeah.
Leute
Obviously.
means yes. Der Mund, which is mouth. Die Nase, which is nose. Das Auge, which is eye. Das Ohr, which is ear. Das Gesicht, which is it a writing or
No, are pretty
is
faces. Yeah.
yeah, pretty sorry,
Not
Gesicht,
pretty, just as a face. Yeah.
face, yeah. Die Geschichte, which is faces, right? Or
No, Geschichte is something else. Look at the spelling. And so Geschichte
okay,
is,
This is a story, right?
yeah, yeah. If you
yeah,
sit
yeah,
down
correct.
someday with me, I will tell you my life story. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Das Gericht,
Yeah. Meaning
Was this? Um,
it has two
garish.
meanings and they are completely different. You know, uh, if you do something wrong,
Mhm.
something illegal, someone has to decide, like what is an appropriate punishment. Who decides
Ah,
that?
mm,
Guys sitting in the court.
yeah, court. Yeah.
But that is irrelevant to our lives, most of our lives. Other ways that we what dish, like
Mm.
what we eat, like gerisht. It has two
Okay. Get.
meanings. It can have more meanings. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Garish.
your session will end now. If not,
Okay. Yeah. So we'll continue talking, and when it ends abruptly, I apologize. And after this, we have to go to office today, Santosh. So
yeah.
after we'll have to end it to now. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll continue talking. If it ends, I wish you all a nice day and a very long weekend in Germany. We have 4 days of weekend. So yeah, continue reading. Yeah.
But Monday, do we have the class or
Monday we'll have class for sure. Yeah.
Garish? Shisht. Die Shisht. Uh,
Firushisht, Nakshisht, it's like shift, like
Shift. Die Kraft, which is like the normal craft, right? I mean, it's
power.
like, oh, this craft is power. Okay.
So craft and marked, they both mean power, but craft is like, uh, like marked is like power. A politician must have power. Craft is like, how much, if I'm pushing something, I need craft for that. But marked is
Okay.
something like, it comes from the word marken, like, what can you do? Like marked. You know what I'm saying? So a prime
Yeah.
minister of a country has so much marked. But if a bodybuilder has craft in him, yeah.
Okay. Macht is must.
No, marked is
Uh,
not marked is like power, like power.
oh
It's
yeah, craft
certain.
and macht. Okay.
But craft
Ubung.
is craft is like physical power.
Yeah, physical power. Okay. Ubung is the answers.
No, please mute yourself. I don't know, like I can hear kids.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, that's fine.
yeah, Yubung is exercise.
Exercise.
So it
Sorry.
can be a homework exercise. It's also
Uh,
Yubung that you do in a fitness studio.
mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Aufgabe is homework.
Aufgabe is not homework. Aufgabe is a task. So if you,
A task. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, it's a task. Okay. Handtush is
A house
hand.
of Gabe is homework.
the
Yeah.
house of Gaba is homework. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not tu. You can say tush, but in our city we say handtuk. Handtuk.
Handtuk.
Yeah, you come out of the
Handtuk.
shower. That's what you use to clean your body or dry
Yeah.
your body. Yeah,
Handtuk. And Papier Handtuk is the
paper
paper
dish. Yeah,
tissue.
yes.
And quickly, I don't know. It ends. Verben. Uh, Riechen
So
and
Rishan,
Reiche.
yeah, there is a
Yeah,
difference.
Riechen. Yeah. What is Riechen?
I watching this movie that that someone gets a food and but the cook says stop before you start eating the food. You have to smell the food and then yeah, so Rishan is to smell.
Riechen is to
Yeah,
smell. And
Raishan,
Reichen.
Raishan, it's mean
Russian is rich, right? Rich, right? I
no,
mean,
no, no,
to
no,
become
no.
Appreciate.
Reich is rich.
Yeah, that is the
Suffice.
adjective. Sorry, yes, Rishabh.
Suffice.
Suffice. For
Something which
example,
is sufficient.
yeah, suffice. Something, for example, das reicht. That's enough. Let's say somebody is bothering you and you're just like, that's enough, man. That's reicht. Or you do 5 tasks and you go to your boss and you say, I have done 5 tasks. What else is there? Your boss will say, that's enough for today. Like take some rest. Das reicht für heute. To
Enough.
enough or to suffice. It can be used in a different ways.